What's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and I'm here at my desk. Just want to give you a little pep talk before we step into this lunar eclipse. Because it is, a culmination point in our lives, and really, no matter how much you want to look forward in the astrology, this really is an end game to a 3-year cycle. And I think it's very important to realize that this is going to take a mutual effort between you and the universe. That there will be the need to make a change in your life now. There will be the need to leap into a new routine, a new rhythm of the way that you go through your life. So this is a great clearing spot, but this also requires an extreme change in your life, an extreme way to move forward, an extreme way to face your issues and to find new and innovative ways to get out of your slump. Because in many ways, this is trying to get us out of the slump. I don't know why I'm using an analogy, kind of like a baseball player that has lost his groove and hasn't hit for a couple games. It's kind of that energy where we've got an area in our life that we're very sensitive about, that we've been trying to overcome, but we've gotten into this pattern of not being able to get out of it, to be stuck in it. But I feel like the universe has really put us in this place to make sure that we really understand, this aspect of our lives, whether it's, usually it's about some area that's causing us to be fearful of stepping forward, fearful of, taking that action. It also is where we are, out of harmony or out of rhythm with or out of balance in. And so I think it's so important because with Pluto at the center of this eclipse in Capricorn, this is about how we can become greater in our lives. And to become greater, we have to take some sort of new action. We have to find a better harmony in our life, a better rhythm. And I think it's so important for this eclipse to realize that it will require a mutual agreement with the universe. The universe is coming forward and about to allow you to be able to take the leap and trust that you can get out of a certain pattern, that you can get out of a certain energy that you've been stuck in. There is fears, wherever that fear is very intensely, that's where you know to jump. Believe it or not, the more where you feel no fear is probably where you've been stuck for the whole time. So there's kind of a lot of energy going around that fear energy with this eclipse. The other part of this eclipse that I wanted to bring outside of the individual, but more on the collective level, was let's just look at the last time Pluto-Uranus had squared. It was in the 30s, the early 30s. And this was right after the Industrial Revolution. This is really where the human had reached this new peak. No longer were we drinking in taverns with lanterns. No longer were we living in homes without heat. That started to come through more of like a furnace. This is where we started to be able to go to a store and just buy things and bring it home and put it in an icebox. Humanity had come to this point then that it blew our minds where we were as humans. But we weren't really aware of it. We were just expanding and growing and building cities and building things and becoming this new human being that had really ascended to this really high position to be able to come into the new humanity. Well, I believe Pluto and Uranus squares bring in the new humanity. It's where you reach a peak point, and there needs to be a radical shift point in the human psyche, the human existence, and the human way of living. And so now we're at a place where we could talk on the internet. Now you can do anything and it's all delivered to your house. You could literally communicate with anybody around the world. You could put a message and it's instant. We're at a place of instant now, instant manifestation as well. So when you come to this place, of course the universe is going to put some sort of training wheels on you and make sure that you face a lot of your issues so you can use the new energy correctly. And if you look at what happened after that last Pluto-Uranus square, we did kind of go buck crazy and wild. It did end up into a world war, but I don't want to kind of aim in that kind of direction. I want to aim in that, this is a culmination point for humanity. This is a time for us all to realize that our psyches are changing. to be able to handle the new energy that is coming in, to be able to handle the new way of life. And no matter how much you think it will not change, it will. Pluto is the underworld. It is the hidden change. We're dealing with Pluto, Uranus, which are outer planets. You cannot see them with your eyes. So if you really think that the change is going to happen in a physical sense, you know, like if you're looking for more physical aspects, or if you're still stuck in real three-dimensional thinking of life, astrology, and especially this shift that's happening, might just blow you by. But if you're really looking at your inner core, your inner psyche, the way that you are confronting your more deeper emotional, spiritual issues in your life, this is the big culmination point. This is the way that your psyche changes about how you are as a person, because Uranus in Aries is representing the identification of who you are. And I did on my horoscopes this, talk of how it kind of is like being on a drug. Some people got pissed about it. I couldn't even believe that. It's not like I'm advocating drugs, but, there's an issue of like where you leave the identity, where you don't, where everything becomes dissolved, where everything becomes unidentified. And we are having to re-identify our life and our individual self differently now to be greater. Because that Pluto in Capricorn, I look at this as about being great. This also separates the men from the boys, the women from the or the girls, not even the ladies. You'll see it right now. This also is what, Dolores Cannon would call the big dimensional shift of the earth, the splitting of 3 and 5D earth. This would be that culmination point. I guess you could say this is a last-ditch effort for some people to get on a certain train towards a new age. And the other side that's going, last time Neptune was in Pisces was the Civil War. It was at the finishing of it. But guess what? There is a splitting of unconscious and conscious happening. We're seeing it in American politics right now with certain, people. I don't even want to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. There are some states that think that it should be this way. There are other people that think it should be this way. What do you think the Civil War was all about? Same thing. Different issue, but same split. So there's a splitting happening. There's a splitting in your own life happening. A splitting of, are you going to go this way and be that patterned old self? Or are you really going to face the music, make the change, and become the new person deep inside of yourself? So, I wanted to give you a pep talk because with Jupiter in the middle of this, this is about the true happiness coming out, not the false happiness. The reason why a lot of people I think are unhappy right now is there's a deep, deep lesson regarding what is true happiness. Is it really the way you've been happy in the past, or is there a new and more positive and more true identification of self that is coming out that you haven't fully seen yet, but it is molding, it is rising like the phoenix right now in your life. And that is where that new true happiness is coming out. Thanks so much for all the support, guys. I appreciate it. I just wanted to give you a little pep talk from my desk here. And as I've been doing readings and doing the videos, and I just love you very much. And I'm sending you all my positive energy on this lunar eclipse. And I will see you on the other side. Bye.